Hi guys, how are you? This is Jay, Victoria, the Energy Queen, and I'm going to be telling you today about three things that you're going to know in heaven that you should know right now while you're on earth. Okay, so the first thing is that in heaven, when you get to heaven, what happens is all the negative energy gets purged from you instantly, because what negative energy is negative beliefs. And when you go to heaven, what happens is you see the truth of everything. You see the perspective that God, the bigger picture, has. You can see the truth about everything. And what negative energy is illusions, lies, untruths, negative beliefs, which are never, if you looked at them from God's perspective, they're never true. And the only way that negative beliefs can be inside of you is if you are currently believing them. Okay, the negative energies, the blocks are negative beliefs, specific negative beliefs. So you go to heaven, what happens is you see the truth, and then they all leave you because you see the actual truth. You can't believe illusions and the truth at the same time. So that's what happens when you go to heaven. You see the truth, all the negative energy is purged. And so on earth, a really good practice for you is to, when you hear the voice of fear or doubt, those negative beliefs and what they say, because they kind of like sneakily like talk to you. What you do is, even if they seem true, what you do is you put them in the category of negative belief, because that takes it out of the category of truth. And that makes it harder for that negative energy / belief to stay inside of you. So what you can do is write them down, write down the negative beliefs that you're currently believing, that you hear in your head. And while you do that, you're taking it out of the category of truth and into the category of negative belief, which I know is not ultimately ever going to be true. And that can help to loosen up right there negative beliefs / negative energies from your energy system. It doesn't necessarily purge them, because as long as you're still believing them, they'll be inside of you. But you at least know, and you're acknowledging that they're not actually ultimately the truth. Okay, that's one thing that I recommend. The next thing that I recommend, and something that you're going to know from heaven that you should know while you're on earth, is that Jesus is king. I'm just saying it. Like I work with energy. A lot of people have different beliefs. But to me, it's like, I look at the energy world. Yes, I grew up Catholic. That's my background. But I never understood the energy of Jesus until I started seeing energy. And I'm always like trying to communicate that it's so simple. I think that we make Jesus complicated. We take that name and we do lots of things with it. And a lot of people do manipulative things with it. And the truth is, like, it's just love. Like, it's love, it's the energy of love, and especially it's the energy of resurrection. It's a light purple energy visually, and it's the energy of resurrection. This is the highest frequency in the energy world. And for there to be a person behind that, it's so beautiful. It's just beautiful. You don't have to believe a certain thing to understand what I'm saying. Like, from what I've seen in the energy world, it's acknowledged by all the energies. It's just like a fact. It's the way things are. And the resurrective energy is built into all of life. Even if you don't, have a specific belief with this, it's like you can at least see in life the resurrection, how that's part of life. And that's what you're actually doing with your own life. Yes, you had trauma. Yes, you went through hard things. Why are you still alive? Well, you're still alive because you're what you're doing, and what your soul knows you're doing, is to resurrect past those things. When you resurrect, oh my God, it's the best thing. That's what we love in movies. We love stories where people went through something and they overcome it. We love that. We love books about this. We love anything with that feeling. Even in pop culture, I will tell you, the energy of pop culture is so similar to the resurrection. When Jesus came back, it was just like Madonna coming back, or Britney coming back, or Adele coming back. It's like the comeback energy is Jesus's energy. And And this energy in the energy world, it's just the way it's laid out. And I think it's such a shame for us to not access that while we're alive, because it makes our lives so much easier. And you don't want to have to wait till you die to be like, oh, I get it. And the thing is, it's familiar. I don't think this is something that we can ever make each other believe. Like, I've actually had people try to get me to believe in Jesus, and it felt so awful to me. I don't like that feeling of people scolding you or trying to make you feel guilty, like, because that's not what he's like. And the way that I came to believe in him the way I do now was through two things: through people who had a life that I admired and were great examples, mentioning that a big part of their success was Jesus. Like Oprah Winfrey, when she did her last Oprah show, she said on that show, I would not have been able to do this without Jesus. And I was like, oh my God, wait a second. That's like a big clue, because I was always wondering, like, how does she have this amazing energy and all this success? And I was just like addicted to her energy. I couldn't get enough of everything she ever did and ever said. And I didn't realize that was who helped her. And I was like, wait a second, okay, maybe I should connect to Jesus. And it's those little moments where you're like, oh my God, I didn't know that was like your secret. And that gets you intrigued right there, right? So that's why I love to tell people too, like, that's where I get my power from. If you like my energy, that's who I need to rely on. I'll be really honest. And that can help you, along with just connecting with the energy yourself. No matter what I think there's a lot of actual wounding around, from religion and all these things. The way to know if it's Jesus truly is it love? That's it. If someone's coming at you with fear, I live in New York City, there's a lot of people who get on the subway and they'll start preaching and they'll, or they're talking a loudspeaker about Jesus. And some of them I felt very uncomfortable around, because I'm like, all I feel is fear. That's all I feel. And that's not even him, so it's confusing. It's like, why are you talking about him? But I don't feel his spirit, I even went to confession once, just to be honest. And like, the priest made me feel really guilty. And I was like, I don't feel like Jesus's energy is so, oh my God, it's just like, it's magical. It's like, it's just so loving. You would not even believe how much you're loved. Like, so loving. Like, if you've ever felt someone look at you with love, or hug you with love, or give you real love, just imagine that feeling growing, and that energy growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. And that's just like one drop of what this feels like. So it's really something that we need to learn to rely on and connect with, and ask for help in your life with very personal things with, because he can fix them. I think life is just too hard for us without him. And that's one of the devil's tricks, is to take the name Jesus and make us scared of it, and make us associate it with guilt and shame and fear, when it isn't any of those things. And just because some people in this world have done that doesn't mean that you need to have that connection halted, because it's there to help you. It's not there to judge you. It's not there to hurt you. And Jesus has said so many times. And another thing to think about too, I love to talk about this, is like, when he was here, religious authorities killed him eventually. Like, he was doing he was breaking all the rules. So if people are using the name Jesus to control you, he wasn't even like that. He was about love, acceptance. He hung out with all the people you're not supposed to hang out with. Mary Magdalene was a whore. He had a tax collector. He loved people, and he understood the concept of how transformative love is. And he challenged all the authorities, and he did something so incredible for us, which is he took on all the negative energies on the cross and defeated them by dying and then coming back. Like, all negative energy is an illusion. It's not real. And he did that. That is the resurrection energy. He's still alive. He ascended into heaven. His body is still real. His mother's body is real. Mary didn't die ever. She's the only human that never died. She just never died. She ascended into heaven. She was assumed into heaven. So it's just so much love. And on earth, sometimes we feel disconnected from love, but know that it's always there. And the more that you open up to it, it's going to be there. And what really changed for me too is the concept of divine mercy. In the 1930s, Jesus appeared to a nun in Poland named Saint Faustina, and he asked her to create a painting, to have a painting commissioned of him with his arms outstretched toward us, and one ray of blood and one ray of water, red and blue, because when they cut him open on the cross, it was miraculous. Blood and water flowed out. And it's called the Divine Mercy. And at the bottom of it, he wanted her to say, Jesus, I trust in you. Because through us trusting him and learning to trust him, he comes to us like that, with his arms outstretched. And he helps us. And he's always saying in that diary, she kept a diary, it's a book you can get. That book really changed my life. And when I prayed to the image of Divine Mercy when I was really, really sick with Lyme disease, in my 20s, I got a diagnosis that saved my life from praying to that image. So I have a lot of faith in that. And that's how I clear energy, by the way. I use the blood and the water physically in the energy world to do energy queen alchemy. The energies world is very real. And those are my top tools for literally dissolving negative energy like an eraser instantly. And people get miraculous results. And so this is all so real. And, your life can change. You can have that transformation. And that, I'm telling you right now, again, you're going to see this when you go to heaven, but why not understand it right now? Why not at least be open to it right now? Because if this is true, you will get results. And that's all I'm inviting you to do, is get curious. This is something you can do on your own. Ask Jesus for help. Ask the resurrection energy to contact you. Take a specific problem in your life and say, hey, Jesus, hey, resurrection energy, I want you to help me with this. I want you to combine yourself with this. I'm giving it to you. And just watch what he does, right? And that leads me to the third thing that I want to say about what we will know in heaven that we should know right now, is that the energy world is more real than the physical world. It is a physical place. The energy world is a place that is called the supernatural because it's just like the natural world, but even more real. What we see on earth is just a glimpse of the realness of the energy world. It's a physical place. That's how I do alchemy energetically. It's literally combining liquids like the blood of Christ with the negative energy in you. Literally, like I have vats and bowls and, chalices that I dunk the negative energy and it dissolves. It's a real process. And also, one really important thing I wanted to say was that the beauty that we crave in this life, so the beauty that excites you in this life, whether it's a vacation destination or a Gucci bag or, the latest lip kit from Kylie, like whatever it is that is beautiful to you and that you're drawn to, I want you to realize something so important, which is that these are what your real desire is for high frequency energy. Because high frequency energy in the energy world expresses itself in visual beauty, in melodic beauty, in all kinds of, like, energy can be, the frequency of high energies can be expressed through all the senses. And your desire for things that feel beautiful for you is, it's great to have beautiful things, but your real true desire is to live in a high frequency. And so in the energy world, what they know and what you're going to see that you can't always see here is that your real desire is for high frequencies. And what high frequencies are kindness and love. frequencies that feel positive. So instead of asking yourself all the time, how do I get the stuff I want? Start asking yourself, how do I be a beautiful soul? How do I really live high frequencies? How can I foster and bring high frequency to life inside of me? Because your energy and the frequencies inside of you create the reality around you. So the more high frequency you are as a person, you're going to see more things that feel beautiful to you. That's one of the secrets. It's like you'll find yourself in the vacation destination, and you find yourself owning beautiful clothes and beautiful jewelry, and looking beautiful, and just having a high vibe behind your life that keeps creating those beautiful things. And that's very different from grasping at reality and trying to feel high frequency by having the thing. And again, things are beautiful, but what if you had a higher frequency inside and that just kept creating beauty everywhere you looked in your life? So I want you to think about that. How can you be a more beautiful person? How can you see somebody who needs help and you do something about it, whether it's saying something kind or giving them something or even praying for them? How can you show kindness? How can you be more loving? How can you be considerate? How can you share something kind? Like, you can even just say something kind to somebody today. And instead of always waiting till you have more money to have a great life, what if you just started to foster and create beauty from inside? Because high frequencies, again, when they're in you, they'll create experiences that feel more high frequency. One of those experiences, I'm willing to bet, is more money. So how can you become that kind of person? A person who lives high frequency, who fosters and creates high frequency. You can literally just create it. And ask God for help. Ask Jesus to bring the resurrection energy into you, to connect with you, to be with you. Even if you just, at the beginning of your day, ask for that. That's another thing. I'll end there. That you got to ask. The energy world is very much like that. It's about free will. So if you ask for help, that's how you get help. God's always helping us, but I find when you're specific and you ask, you will receive. So those are 3 things, more like 4 things, because there was the 4th that tagged on at the end, that you will know in heaven, that you should definitely know right now. And I hope this helped you. Let me know, like the video, comment. I hope this is helping you. And if you'd like to talk to me more, I'll give you my email in the description. If you'd like to book a free consult with me, if you are feeling the urge to have clearer energy and that sounds really attractive to you, you can book a free consult. Put that in the link in the description. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Let's live.